This is Texans TV.
Building the Texans is brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans. The 2020 season didn't end the way the Texans were hoping. But with a new year comes new goals and a new regime.
Tell me about the Texans search right now.
Texans are interviewing. Everybody reacts to it. We've got a head coach and a general manager opening here.
Texans will be hiring Nick Caserio. I think this is a great hire by the Houston Texans football team because Nick Caserio knows it all.
I'm excited. Be ready to go. Yeah, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
This is one of the most qualified front office employees in football.
Our goal is to build a program that centers on being selfless, willingly accepting challenges, which we unquestionably will face and have faced and will continue to face each day. Always put the team above yourself. Others before self, team before I. That will be the mindset, and that will be the expectation for everybody that walks into the building on a daily basis.
Following the hire of general manager Nick Caserio, the Texans shifted focus to finding the franchise's fourth head coach.
We didn't want to just rush into anything. We weren't going to make any sort of knee-jerk decisions or reactions and not let, some other things factor into our decision-making mechanism. I think the initial round of interviews was just try to get to know the individual, not so much on an X and O basis, but just as a person, what they're about, what they believe in, what's their philosophy, how do they handle certain situations, and just kind of have an idea of what their background may or may not have been. Not to oversimplify it, but communication, honesty, being able to message the team on a consistent basis, and ultimately we just try to make the best decision that we thought was appropriate for the organization.
Texans expected to hire David Culley as their next head coach.
I'm excited to see a hire like this.
He's been in the NFL as a coach for 27 years.
I'm extremely excited for him. You wait this long to become a head coach, he deserves it.
His energy, his honesty, I'd say his juice level. I mean, he has an infectious personality, and he is who he is. When you see that pattern of behavior repeat itself over a period of time, that resonates. So you have somebody look at it and say, okay, I can trust this guy. Like, he is who he is. He's going to be consistent, and just his mentality.
That's nice coverage. I got something for that one right there. You go earlier, he comes off and it's a headache. Yes, sir. That's a nice job of staying vertical. You just run outside of him, and then what happens? He looks back inside, turns him loose. Put that foot down and get vertical. Get in the end zone. Get in the end zone.
He's had an expertise relative to coaching technique and coaching fundamentals at his position. So the more time you spend around him, the more you realize there's a lot of depth there.
I can't wait to work with you on so many things.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Good. Good.
Well, we're also looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
And having a fun press conference and everything. And we got something for you to wear for your
thank you.
Your jacket for tomorrow.
Yes, wear it proudly. Wear it proudly. Yes, good. Can't wait.
It'll be awesome.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun day.
Official Texans now. All right, first time on the red carpet here, huh? Always wondered, watching the Academy Awards, what it was like to walk the red carpet. Now I kind of feel just like walking on regular carpet.
It is with great pleasure, and it gives me great honor to introduce David Culley, head coach of the Houston Texans.
If you think I'm excited and happy to be here, just look at my face. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part of this organization because of this family. It feels great because you know what? When you're putting pen to paper, it means it's official and it's real. Been waiting on this a long time. Yeah, I was elated. It's hard to describe, but I know those guys that have gone on and got in the position that I'm in right now, they know how I feel. That go way back when, that drive way back when, and says, you know what that formula is. You've seen it work. And whenever that opportunity ever comes up, I'm going to be ready for it. There's such a passion in this league when you coach for what you do that you know that when that opportunity comes, that you're able to release that and be able to do what we're doing right now. So I'm not surprised that I'm here right now. I expected to be here right now. And just so blessed that the McNairs saw that in me, and Nick saw that in me to be able to give me this opportunity.
For head coach David Culley, it's an opportunity that's been a long time in the making. With 27 years of NFL coaching experience, Coach Culley was able to learn from some of the NFL's best.
I saw how Andy Reid did things, the consistency, the focus, and how we brought that franchise together as one. I realized then that I'd love to be able to sit in that seat because I love what he did. I love the way he went about it. I started to feel like that's what I am. And I felt like that I had learned all the things that I need to from him. And as I moved on, as I went to Buffalo with Sean McDermott and I came to Baltimore with John Harbaugh, who'd been there and done that, he reassured me that at some point, David, you know you could do this. I said, Coach, I felt that way for a little while. This is a new year. This is a new start. What we're getting ready to do now will have nothing to do with what happened in the past. We're going forward right now to do the things that we need to do to be the best franchise that we can be. Everybody in this building, from whatever position you are, you're all important. We walk in this building with pride. We walk in this building knowing that where we're going and what that goal is, it's going to be reachable when we all get to that point where you understand. When you see me in this building or when I see you in this building, the one thing I'll always say to you is this, just remember, it's always about us. It's never about me, it's never about you. It's about the Houston Texans.
To know how the Texans will be built, you must first know David Culley. And to know him, we take you to the city that built him. Located 80 miles from Nashville, Tennessee, with a population of 5,029, is the city of Sparta. Bluegrass, beautiful waterfalls, and White County High School are a few ways of describing it. But when telling any story, it's best to hear from those who know it best.
Sparta is basic rural America. It's the place that you want to raise your family and grow a home, and it's a place that considers God, family, country, and then sports comes pretty close behind that.
It was a very close-knit town, not just with my family, but with everybody in the town, from people at the high school, people in businesses. Everybody knew everybody, and it was like we were all family to a certain degree.
On Roberts and North Carter Street, near Riverside Park, David Culley's childhood began.
This is the street basically where he grew up at, and we always kidded each other, say, okay man, we from North Carter. He said, yeah, North Carter strong. This is our area right here. We maintain North Carter. So he was proud to be from this street. Even though there wasn't much here, but still it was a lot to us.
At an early age, David got involved in sports, where friendships were made and character began to be developed.
He was the type of guy that one day he's going to be a productive person for the community. He's just a good kid. And then at the ball field, kids would leave their gloves on the benches, and he'd always say, hey guys, whose gloves? Don't forget your gloves.
David's character in many ways was molded by his parents because, you know, I've never been around his parents that they weren't positive and upbeat and encouraging. I've never felt like David was doing anything other than what he felt like was best for the team.
White County High School is the only high school in our county, and it serves all of our county as the local high school.
Football was more than just a game. It was kind of a way of life for us. And it wasn't just the football, but it was basketball, it was baseball, it was all the other sports. It is a very sports-oriented town with a lot of history.
Dee Harris is known in the town of Sparta as a legend, a title well-deserved after being the head coach of the high school football team for 19 years. Following a successful coaching career, in 2002, the school named the field in his honor. 1 year later, he was inducted into the White County Sports Hall of Fame.
I got coached the right way, I like to tell everybody, because he was a wonderful man. Not only that, a tremendous coach, but a better human being. And those things kind of rubbed off on not only me, but everybody that played for him. And I try to make sure that in my profession now, with where I'm at, that I try to do the same thing to the people that I coach.
Dee Harris was a great coach. To this day, what he taught me was discipline and hard work, because if you were not disciplined, Dee would let you know, but he would do it in such a way that it wasn't to chastise you, but he brought the best out of you through the way he communicated to you.
With Dee Harris and a good supporting cast, David began to build a legacy of his own at White County High. Staying busy with sports and school, David earned a good reputation with the people of Sparta.
There's nothing that I saw, any kind of sporting event that he couldn't excel in. I mean, he was the quarterback on our football team. He was the point guard on our basketball team. He played the game the way it's supposed to be played, and so people looked up to him, even on the opposing sides.
When he was a senior, he became the first player ever to be named the Associated Press's State Player of the Week for both offense and defense, and he did it in consecutive weeks. And I don't think anybody's ever done that since then.
It was Sparta, Tennessee, where David would form bonds that would last a lifetime and develop his character. Today, he is in the White County Sports Hall of Fame, next to the legendary D. Harris. But his impact in the town of Sparta is far from finished.
Back when I was in Sparta, Tennessee, everything I am today has come from that town, those people. And you know, you always hear it takes a village, you know, to raise someone. I'm a perfect example of that. And that happened for me back in Sparta, Tennessee.
It starts at the top from the standpoint of what are you looking for? You're looking for high character guys. And when you have that, players want to be taught. You know, players want to be able to do the right thing. And they're always looking for coaches to be able to put them in position to be successful. And great teachers do that.
After the Texans hired coach David Culley, it was time to build his staff. Leading the offensive side, Culley chose to keep a familiar face as Tim Kelly returns for his third season as the OC. Frank Ross, who was previously with the Colts, will lead the special teams unit along with Sean Baker. Stepping into the defensive coordinator role is longtime NFL coach Lovie Smith. A native of Big Sandy, Texas, Smith makes his return to the great state of Texas.
I've known David for a long period of time. So when he got the job and he reached out to me, I mean, that was an easy call. You know, you want to help the good guys win, and just knowing his personality and what type of football coach he is. And I just knew that we could do some things down here and feel even stronger about that now.
Prior to joining the Texans, Coach Smith accumulated 19 years of NFL coaching experience. As head coach of the Chicago Bears, Lovie helped lead the team to 3 division titles, 2 NFC Championship game appearances, and a trip to Super Bowl 41.
Defense, we win if you don't let them score. Man, you got to reach down right now. What more do you want than to be in this position right here?
Experience has taught an awful lot. Feel like any situation that comes up, you know, we've been through. Our defensive package that we'll run has been tried and tested. I think it fits well with today's athlete too, because our defense is based on getting 11 athletes on the football field.
Lovie's defenses through the years, when he was a coordinator as well as a head coach, has always been a defense that's created turnovers, which is, as a defensive guy, you always want that. And then as a head coach and as an offensive guy, you love that, and he's bringing that same thing here.
He's got a man wide open. Cooks, rock and roll, touchdown, Texans!
Tim Kelly enters his 8th season with the Texans and his 3rd as the offensive coordinator. With a new season ahead, he hopes to build on some of his previous success from last season as the offensive unit led the NFL in yards per play and yards per reception.
First and foremost is really building the relationships with the new players and the new coaches. So I want to make sure that our guys are comfortable and understand the teaching styles of each and every coach and start to really kind of build that relationship. And then really get a solid foundation of just the general offense and what we are and what our standards are and what we expect and really kind of what it means to be a member of the Houston Texans offense.
Tim did things offensively that fit the personnel that we had. You always want to be able to do things offensively and defensively when you're game planning and you're trying to put together what's best for you to do.
is what's best that your players do. And I thought Tim did a heck of a job of doing that this past year.
Tim Kelly is relied upon to call the plays, but with the help of head coach David Culley, it presents a fresh approach to the offensive game plan.
It's been great. The energy and the enthusiasm he brings in every day, it's contagious, and you can really feel it when you're walking up and down the hallway. And then on top of that, just the overall knowledge and the expertise he has in offense, and really being able to lean on him as a resource as we try to move forward here, it's been awesome.
Nick has added this offseason, from the time he got here until now, he has added at least one player at every position.
In addition to the new coaching staff in place, comes new players on the roster. With many roster moves being made during the offseason, the coaching staff is excited to establish a culture of competition.
Nick has done a heck of a job of bringing in the right kind of people that we need here to be able to go where we need to go. And competition creates the best environment for people to be successful and to be the best player that you need to be.
It doesn't matter if you have a lot of great players. To maintain that edge, you need competition. So we want to create competition at all positions. Our football team becomes a lot stronger if we have more than one guy. And, you know, we're going to a 17-game season this year. It's going to take a lot of guys, and you need to have depth too.
I think competition really breeds success. It breeds improvement. It really pushes each and every player to go out there and perform at a high level because they know if they don't, that they're going to have somebody kind of, you know, chomping at the bit to come in there and take their job.
You know, people ask me, how do you describe a coaching staff that you would like to see? Stern teachers. We have a bunch of stern teachers here.
Really want to continue to put our guys in situations to be successful and really looking to grow on some of the success we had last year and then improve in some of the areas that after watching the self-scout and figuring out what we need to get better at and putting ourselves in a spot to do that.
These guys, every day when you come into the building, that environment is there. And one thing about that I've always felt like too with places that I've been before, and I wanted to make sure it's the same thing here, is we all like each other. We all have the same goal. We're creating a culture here that everybody's comfortable with and that they know will be successful. And I feel like every day when we walk in the building, we're getting that.
Nick Caserio comes in, his first draft that he's fully in charge of. This is his baby.
It's draft time. It's my favorite time of year. I love it. I know that we're not putting anybody in Canton tonight, but we can't get excited about these players.
They always ask, are you going to the draft? There's nothing there other than the podium and the people cheering. The draft really happens in the NFL facilities. It's going on at NRG Stadium, and they'll be at it tomorrow night with pick number 67.
There's no one set formula. Ultimately, the players are going to dictate how big of a role that they have, what their role on the team is going to be. And the only way that we're going to push each other and challenge each other is to have as many people and players with the same mindset.
We evaluated everybody, but I would say we delved deep into more players that were beyond the 30th best player in the draft. More focused on the middle class, so to speak, of the draft, because we knew that those are the players ultimately that were going to be staring at us on the draft board.
We talked through really every scenario, like if it's this player or these 6 players, what players are we comfortable with at 67 or moving up or moving out? So we were prepared, and so now it's just time to type the pick in the computer and submit it and make them a Texan.
My Houston Texans select Davis Mills, QB from Stanford.
We're going to turn the pick in here in a minute, and we're going to make you a Houston Texan. We're excited to enjoy it with your family. We'll circle back with you here in a little bit.
Love the thought of you being a Texan. Tell them I hear them in the background. I hear them. Yeah, tell them get them some boots now, okay?
Good size, fairly accurate thrower, gets rid of the ball fairly quickly, real smart. So when you look at the attributes that go into playing the quarterback position, we felt that he had a lot of those qualities.
Davis Mills' pro day, it was a steady rain that day. Davis showed a lot of composure, threw the ball pretty well. He's a very natural thrower. He handled the elements well that day as far as his accuracy and putting the ball on his receivers pretty well.
Hey, a Houston Texan. That sounds great, don't it?
Handful of players that we had graded at a certain level, and as we were working through the draft, some of them started to come off fairly quickly, so we felt we were kind of in an area where if we didn't draft the player at that point, there's an opportunity you might lose them. So there are some qualities I'd say that are unique to Nico that made us want to make the trade and move the way we did.
Really good ball skills, really good hands, kind of brings a size element. And then when you meet the kid, great personality, really good kid. We knew what kind of person we were getting.
The Houston Texans select Brevin Jordan, tight end from Miami.
And he hurdles a tackle, dives to the pylon.
We just want you to come here to be the best pro you can be. I know this has been a lifelong dream of yours to do this. Now you're getting the opportunity to do this.
He's been productive in the passing game, running catch, good with the ball. So offensively, when you have players like that can run, can catch, are good with the ball, you like having those types of players on your team.
The Houston Texans select Gary Wallow, linebacker, TCU.
We're going to make you a Houston Texan, so you don't have to go far. You can stay in the state of Texas here.
Instinctive player, runs well, a good tackler. His skills translate to what we're doing defensively and is similar to some of the players that we have on the team currently.
The Houston Texans select Roy Lopez, defensive tackle, Arizona.
Hey Roy, how you doing? You don't have to wait any longer. We're about to make you a Houston Texan. So, congratulations. Congratulations.
And he's a very successful wrestler. And really, wrestling is about positioning, and it's about leverage, and playing defensive tackle is a lot of the same things. It's about technique, it's about hand placement, it's really about pad level. So some of those skills actually translate over into football, and you were able to see some of that in Roy's play. You're just trying to push one another and just create a sense and an urgency on a day-to-day basis. This is a new chapter. This is a responsibility and a job that you have, and the only way that you're going to maintain your status in the league is to actually treat it as such. And if it's not good enough or they're not good enough, then we have to replace them and find somebody else.
If you looked around and you've seen most of our coaches and you see us with this on right here, man, don't forget that. Just remember, that's what we're all about. That's what we're all about. Understand what the goal is. Understand what we're going to do and what we're going to continue to do. Understand that. Keep that with you. That being said, Tyrod, I need the best breakdown that we've had this off season. You understand? The best. So you make sure you got it right. The best we've had. Get on in here.
Together on three. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.